Hello sacred beings, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about star seeds. If this is your first time watching my starseed videos, I highly recommend you at least go to part 1. I know it starts off slow, but that's the most popular video I have and kind of what started this whole series. So I will link it above and in the description. Definitely start there if you haven't. I also have a whole playlist all about star seeds. I would go through all of those to see if maybe your origin I've already posted, but today we're going to talk about 7 new ones that I have not mentioned before. And at the end of the video, I'm going to share a little sneak peek of what I'm doing next, which pertains to star seeds that I have never done before. So I will say I am recording outside. If you watched my latest video, I'm recording in the same area. I'm outside my RV in Tennessee, and there's a huge highway right there, so that is all the noise you're going to hear in the background. Maybe in the future I can have a microphone where you just hear me and not the background noises, but for today this is what we're working with, so please bear with me. I will try to speak loud and clear so you guys can hear the markings to look for in your birth chart. So if you guys have ever seen my face before, welcome. My name is Jewel and I talk all about spirituality, specifically a lot of starseed topics because that is what you guys request the most. I also talk a little bit about witchcraft and a lot about the astral realm. So if you're into that kind of stuff, then please hit that subscribe button and also turn on the bell because I do polls where you can participate to vote for what you want to see in my next videos. And without further ado, let's go. I have scooted over to this side of the screen to leave some room because we're going to need this for your birth chart and to help you find the markings to look for in your chart. But before we begin, you might be wondering, like, what is a starseed and why am I even watching this video? But most of you already know, and that's what led you here. So here's just a short definition, but it's basically your soul has came from another origin in space to come to Earth to help humanity in a way. So in this video, we're going to be looking at your birth chart to try to help you figure out where is your origin that you came from, which you can have many planets you've lived on, since your soul is endless. So most likely you're going to be a hybrid of multiple origins. So let's talk about the 7 that we're looking at your chart today. First, you're going to need your birth chart. I've shown you guys how to do this in my previous videos, but if you're new here, just really quick, you want to go to astro-charts.com and fill in your information with your birth date, your location, and the time of your birth. That's automatically going to give you your tropical chart. When you're looking at your birth charts, your tropical chart talks about your life right now. So we recommend that you look at your sidereal chart, which talks about where you came from. So this will give you better answers of where your soul originated from if you look at your chart of where you originally came from. And this also tells you where you may be going when you leave this earthly plane in this incarnation. So in order to do that, you have to go to the settings. I'll kind of show you here and change it under general to sidereal and scroll down and hit apply. So we're going to be looking at these 2 areas, the planets, and then at the very bottom, if you scroll all the way down, you'll find your houses. So I usually just screenshot those and follow along with the video and take notes of what numbers I give you match up with what you have. But I will give you examples along the way of what to look for. But you're basically looking at, if I say a zodiac sign like Leo and 2 degrees, for example, it's gonna have like a number on the left and then a number on the right. You're looking at the number on the left. So that's the degrees. The numbers on the right are the seconds, which sometimes I give you exact degree, zodiac, and seconds, but most of the time I just give you that first number. And then when we do this, you're gonna be including, when you take your notes of ones you align with that are 1 to 2 degrees away. So if I say 22 in Leo, you're also gonna like put a tally mark or take notes that if you have a 20, a 21, a 22, because that's what we're looking for, a 23 or a 24, then all of those count as a marking for that origin. So 1 to 2 degrees away from the number I give you counts as a marking. And then I always say you want at least 3 confirmations from that origin to confirm that you've either traveled there before or you're originally from there before you came to Earth. Before we begin, if you watched my previous videos, I have horrible pronunciation and I don't look up how to pronounce these origins before I record the video. I just write them down and hope for the best. So I will put the name at the bottom, and if you're familiar with star seeds and birth charts and all of that, you already probably know how to pronounce these, and I'm just apologizing. I probably don't know how to say them correctly. So let's go. Number 1 is Reticulum. So Zeta, Reticuli. This is basically like the grays, so Zetas. I've talked about before in my very first video, but this is more specific. So Reticulum origin. So you're from this star, planet, system, constellation. This is where you are from. So there's 2 types of these Reticuli, Zeta, Reticuli, gray star seeds. There's the gray ones, and then there's the blue and white ones. So the gray ones are more of oracles, and they have a quieter personality, and they have empathetic abilities. The blue-white one are more of the scope makers, so they're outspoken and have an analytical mindset. So the 2 types of these grays, they complement each other and they enrich their environment in unique ways. So if you are one of these, or you align with them with these markings I'm about to give you, you may have a restricted life, be self-absorbed, selfish, driven, determined, and full of emotion. So that's not in a negative way, it's just some of the traits that you may have. Let's look at your birth chart. You want to look for Pisces. So in your planets and your houses, those 2 screenshots that you should have, look for Pisces. And when you find Pisces, you want to look for 21, 25, and 29. So with all of these markings I'm about to give you for these type of grays, I have at least 2 in my sidereal chart. So I don't remember which ones, but I'll give you examples. So if I'm circling one on here that's not the exact number, it's just to give you an example of what to look for. So it's gonna say 21, 25, or 29, or 1 to 2 degrees away from that number. Above or below still counts. Also, you wanna look for Aries. So in Aries, it's gonna be 5, 7, 9, or 19. So that is the number 1 that we're gonna do. Let's move on to the second new starseed. You would become from the Cetus constellation. So the Cetus constellation, also known as the sea monster or the whale, is home to multiple starseed races that we're about to cover, but they are water lovers. They love water creatures. Their preferred method of communication is telepathically, and they can spot mind control and tactics easily, and they often fight corruption, and they break down harmful power structures. So the beings that come from the Cetus constellation, they are both dark and light, such as on Earth. Like there's duality on that in that constellation, and those origins, they understand that you have to have dark in order for there to be light. So very similar races. So some are here to help, while others may be here to manipulate. But within the Cetus constellation, there are these starseed origins. So you can be a Cetus starseed, or it's called Dreas starseed. There's 2 ways to spell it, so I'll put that here. And also Menkarians. Not to be confused with Mentakins. That's what I did a video on Mentakins. That's my home origin as what I believe, or Lyran. I think I'm a Mentaka Lyran hybrid. But the Dreas, and Menkarians may have worked with the reptilians. So if you're from this origin, you may have worked with the reptilians, which I've done a reptilian video, and I believe in some way we have had communications or connections in some way, history with reptilians. So let's look at your birth chart. You're gonna look for Aries, and you may seem to see similar markings for the first one I went over, because the grays are very similar to working with reptilians and having that light and dark energy with different type of people, because like you can be a good soul, but then there could be negative souls. So there's always that duality, so keep it in mind. You might have similar markings, which means you could be a hybrid of both of these constellations. So look for Aries is a 0, 2, 5, 7, 8, 11, 16, 17, 19, 21, and 29. And then also you want to look at Taurus, 0, 1, 3, 4, 7, 9, 11, 14, and 15. So let me know if you have any of these below in the comments. The third origin we're going to be talking about, I'm going to say it wrong, is Aquila constellation. So this also includes the Altairs or the Altalias, and I post my credits of where I get this information in the description, but one of the sources said that they're the only race that can procreate with Tagitans, this is how you spell it. And they look exactly like humans. So Aquila, it's the eagle constellation. It represents masculine energy and strength. It will have a profound connection to Greek and Roman timelines. Bravery is your guiding principle. You're independent, and just like Orion, you have similar Orion constellation, Orion origin qualities, but you seek justice. The divine feminine from this constellation will have a lot of masculine authority or qualities about themselves, and most likely you were a tomboy when you were younger. And then you also are all about learning, so I kind of felt connected to this reading about the origins, because I was very tomboyish growing up, and as you know, I always dream about learning. I'm always in the astral realm. I'm constantly at a school and learning things in other dimensions. It's very crazy. But I have 2 markings, so you want to look for, so Aquila will be exactly 1 Aquarius 47. So this is where I give you the degree, Aquarius 47 seconds. So look for 1 Aquarius 47, and that is an exact marking for this constellation. You also want to look for Capricorn 25 in Capricorn. And lastly, besides number 1, it's also 3 and 4 in Aquarius, or 1 to 2 degrees away. And then just a side note, so this is a little extra, the Tagitans, I don't know how to say it, that I mentioned earlier, that the Aquilas procreate with, they are a Palladian being. So you may have a lot of Palladian markings in your chart from Starseed Origin video number 1. You may be a Palladian Aquila hybrid. The Tagitans are also a Lyran species, so you may also have some Lyra connections in you as well. That might be why I had 2 markings as well. But let's move on to number 4, is Argo constellation. So also called Argo Navis or Navis. It's the ship or the boat. So I thought this was pretty cool. It's a pretty big constellation. It also includes the Volan or Vela species, because the Vela or Velan constellation, it's a separate constellation, but it's the sails of the ship, which they look all like one. So you get the sails and the boat. So this is really a 2-for-1. So Argo and Vela constellations. The markings you want to look for if you came from this ship or the sails constellation is 14 in Cancer, 0, and then you want to look in Leo. So in Leo, you're going to look for 0, 6, 8, 11, 18, 26, or 27. In Virgo, you're going to look for 11, 14, 18, 23, or 28. In Libra, you're going to look for 4, 5, 10, or 22. And lastly, a 1 in Scorpio. So I believe I have 3 of these, which that would confirm like some sort of origin or history within this boat or the sails constellation, which makes a lot of sense. If I'm Mintakan, that has a lot to do with water and dolphins, and a boat and a ship, I mean, that's on the water, like very, very similar. And my dad is a fisherman, and I used to be out on the boat all the time, so I see the similarities with that for sure. All right, I believe number 5, this is the Norma constellation. So this represents the level or the square, a right angle, or carpenter square. But if you're from here, you're an honest and truthful person who believes in justice. You have an upright life with interests in mathematics, geometry, surveying, carpentry, and architecture. So this one is pretty short. There's only 3 markings. So if you have all 3 of these, you may come from the Norma constellation, but it's in Sagittarius. I don't have any of these, but I'll give you an example of where to look. So Sagittarius, it's gonna be an 8, 11 through 14. So I lied. I saw 3 numbers, but you can be an 8, 11, 12, 13, 14. So you have 5 chances to get 3 markings to confirm an origin. Let's move on to number 6 is the Vulcan constellation. Also goes by Epsilon Volantis or Piscis Volans. I know I'm saying this wrong, I apologize. But this sits right above the ship. So when we talked about the Argo constellation with the ship and the sails, I should have read this right after, but this constellation sits right above the ship and it represents a flying fish. So if you're from here, you have a quick mind, imagination, and you're artistic and poetic. So I have 2 markings for here. You're looking for Libra is 15, 19, 20, and 24. And then in Scorpio, you're looking for 9 and 15. And then lastly, number 7 is Auriga constellation. If you're from here, you have a lot of self-confidence. You have an interest in social and educational problems, and you're fond of the country life, so you may live in the country or want to live in the country. Maybe a teacher or like teaching or want to be a teacher. You may like goats, so farm life. You may have some goats. You also are really good at upbringing children, or you maybe raise children, or you're a teacher that works around kids or a babysitter, I don't know. But here are the markings. I don't have any of these, but you're looking in Gemini. So it's just in Gemini, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 29. So those are the 7 new Starseed Origins I have for you. This is mainly just giving you the markings so that you can start doing your own research and figuring out more information about them. But if you made it this far in the video, please give it a like and a follow if you haven't already. But if you are still here, here is your sneak peek for the next video. While I was doing this video, it gave me a really good idea. Do you remember when I did the video about planets, like you're from, like all the planets in our solar system? I did every single planet, the markings, and like characteristics of if you come from that planet in our solar system. So it led me to think of doing a video all about starseeds from your constellation of your zodiac, which we'll go more into that because I know, like for me, I'm a Gemini, but that's my tropical sign, so how I am now. We're gonna look at your sidereal, so that would be 12 new origins in the next video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I am so happy to be back, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.